Hey, guys.
Hey,
Hey,
Coach Thatcher. Joe Icono with GoBlackKnights.com. How was practice today?
I'm good. Really good energy, and our guys get out there and they go after it every day. So it was good to see just guys flying around and really focused on some little things because we gotta obviously clean up some stuff. But our guys, I mean, it's a black flag mentality, right? And they just come out there and they keep grinding and keep working. So it was good.
And, I know you and the rest of the staff emphasize fundamentals all the time, and ball security is a big part of that. Yet the fumble bug continues to seem to bite Army, especially the last couple of weeks. What can you guys, if anything, I mean, at the end of the day, it's up to the players to execute that. I understand that. But as a staff, is there anything you guys can focus on, execute? Because certainly with a team as athletic as LSU, they're going to be getting to the ball probably in some unexpected points, and probably blowing up some plays, even if you guys play great. How can you guys avoid turning the ball over against LSU?
Yeah, you just got to practice it and get our scouts to really go after that ball and just continue to preach to our guys awareness and make them aware and drill it. And, in everything, every drill you do, it can't just be, hey, we focus on ball security and ball security drill. Any drill that we have, we're on those guys. And so we just got to continue to do it. And our scouts have done a really good job of trying to help those guys get better too.
Another challenge kind of that's presented itself the last couple of weeks is offensive line being able to sustain blocks, create holes for the running game. Obviously, with LSU, super big, super fast, super athletic front seven. What are you guys working on from an offensive line standpoint to try and improve there?
Yeah, just trying to be consistent and again get used to finishing those blocks and work on resetting their hands and work on resetting the line of scrimmage. Again, it's all those little things that for some of these seniors, you seem like, oh, they're veteran. Well, they've had so many reps at a different thing that it's still they still resort back to that at times. And so it's just trying to get them enough reps, and those guys are working their tail off.
And last question, around the running backs. Kanye Udo's kind of emerged as I don't want to say surprise. You guys probably knew how good he was, but as a young player who's done a really good job. Hayden Reed's gotten a lot of carries. The last game, it was really those two sharing the bulk of the workload, with obviously Tyrell Robinson back from injury, and kind of you guys watching his pitch count a little bit, but him getting some big plays in as well. Is that I've noticed it's kind of varied by game this year. Do you guys see certain things in certain defenses that you think a certain running back skill set will work better for? Is it just kind of like Kanye's got the hot hand now, so let's keep feeding them? Kind of what goes into those decisions?
Yeah, it's a little bit of all of that. When Kanye pops some of those runs, obviously it's a thing where, all right, he's seeing the holes this game. He's finding that groove and he's running. How he's capable. I mean, we saw it early in some scrimmages. He did some good things, and he's just like all the other freshmen. It just takes time to get used to. He's really good at that part. Every running back's good at running the ball. It's just the other intricacies. And it's such a talented room. And that's, the balancing act of how to get all of them carries and, with limited snaps. So we just try to do the best we can and emphasize, of guys executing in practice and taking that to the game.
Thanks, Drew.
Hey, Coach. Ken Kreitzer, Cam Vets Media. Good to see you. As Joe said, Kanye Udo had a terrific game. I kind of keep looking at the play at the beginning of the fourth quarter, the 4th and 1, and you had confidence in Kanye to go make that play on the 4th and 1 versus one of your fullbacks. Was it just confidence in Kanye at that point in the game?
Yeah, it's he's ran that play and ran it well. Obviously, so has Jacoby. It was just kind of, hey, he's been going. And so that was kind of the thoughts there.
And Champ Harris, we just had a chance to talk with, he's grown a lot since we first saw him play during August scrimmages. He had, I keep looking at the 18-yard pass play he had dodged on Marshall in the fourth quarter as a sign of his growth. He took a bunch of sacks during the game. What does he have to do to step forward to avoid sacks and work on and be effective on passing plays?
Yeah, he's just got to continue to trust his reads and progressions. Some of those were a good play by the D line. Some of them was he held on too long. It's obviously all that stuff goes together. And he just got to continue to grow and learn. And again, we have been harping on those guys to practice at game speed. So when you are called on, that speed isn't so dramatic. Because it is when you get in there and you're playing a really good defense and they're flying around. It's a fast speed. So if you can practice as fast as you possibly can from a mental standpoint, then hopefully you get in there and you trust your reads and you can get it out and don't have to hold on it for too long. O-line's fighting their butt off.
And have you gone against a Coach Kelly team or had observations about his style of play during his career, way the defenses are set up so far?
We've obviously studied them, and they're a really good defense. They're super athletic. They got guys all over the place. That's an SEC team, and they're really good, and that's an SEC defense.
Thanks, Coach.
Hey, Drew. Ken McMillan from The Record.
How's it going, Ken?
Good, Drew. Sticking on Champ Harris here. What was your overall assessment of how he did, especially being thrown in the way he was?
Yeah, there was some goods and some bads, and did some things well, and some plays he left out there, and some things he has to clean up. And it's to kind of be expected when you have a freshman quarterback in there, and he's just got to keep competing and working to get better and getting reps, and but there's some highs and there were some lows.
If you have to stick with him for a bit, do you feel confident that he's going to be seeing improvement week by week here?
Yeah, I mean, it's all those guys. That whole quarterback room is working hard, and again, it's one of those things. The more reps you get, it's hard as a quarterback. That's one of the few positions where it's like, I mean, you really play one guy in the whole game, whereas multiple running backs can get reps and O-linemen and stuff like that. So it's hard to get those guys a lot of extra game reps. But again, just preaching to all those young quarterbacks of, hey, you're always one snap away. You need to practice at that game speed. So when it's your time, you're ready to go.
Obviously, before you were here, you knew that Army, resorted to a number of quarterbacks by necessity or otherwise in previous years. The moment that Bryson came out and you had to send Champ in, you as a coordinator, what's going through your mind?
Just trying to switch your brain to what plays he's best at and what things he would like, and try to get him started on some plays where he can be confident on stuff. But just again, all these guys can really execute the base offense that we have going. So it's just trying to make sure he was ready to go in there.
Yeah, but that was the first time this season that you had to deal with it. Is that tough as a coordinator?
I mean, it's happened before. So it's just one of those things. You just try to be ready and understand, hey, here's the next couple guys up. Here's what they like. Here's something that could be good for them. But most of those guys are executing a pretty good chunk of the offense in practice. So it's not like, hey, we can only do one thing, so it is nice to have those guys that are able to go in and at least give you something and not just completely hold back.
I know they all have to run the same plays in practice and such, but how different are Bryson and Champ in their games?
Yeah, there definitely some similarities, but I think Bryson's a little more north-south tough runner. He has had a lot of experience between the tackles, whereas Champ's a little more east-west, and I think he can do some similar stuff, but he hasn't yet. And again, just Bryson's taken a lot of hits inside, and he knows how to deal with it. And early in a game with Champ, that's probably not where you want to put him and make him live. So, they're a little different, but, both smart. That whole quarterback room has got some smart kids in it.
Did Bryson practice at all Sunday, today? Do you expect him to practice Wednesday, Thursday?
I'm not sure. You just leave that up to the training staff, and we get out there, and whatever they tell us, we just follow.
Sure. And then lastly, the players were talking about going down to LSU, such a, notable place. You as a coordinator, I don't know how many times you got to go to some famous historic places. What's this like for you to go down there, aside from having to coach, against these guys? What's it like for you to go?
I think it's always fun to go travel and see new places, and obviously, Death Valley is a pretty renowned place to play a game, especially a night game, and that crowd will be rocking and rolling. So I think you appreciate the experience and you enjoy it, but when it's game time, you don't really focus on the surroundings, so it'll be cool to go to that place and experience it. But again, you've got a mindset that it's, you're going out there to execute and give them heck out there.
A little different from UNK, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Coach Jarrett Roser from Louisiana versus all y'all down here in Baton Rouge. You have a good Louisiana contingent of guys on that roster, including Connor, who we just chatted with. Can you sense some excitement from particularly the Baton Rouge guys to come down here, or have they kept that pretty stoic and businesslike pretty effectively?
I think, it's anytime a kid goes back to where they're from, they get excited and they want to play well, and, their family's going to be there and stuff like that. So, I mean, they haven't said anything, but they're always ready to go back home and try to play in those situations.
And even going back to high school, Connor was a very intense young athlete and a versatile athlete for Catholic High. And your time with him, what has stood out about him, whether it be personality-wise or what he can do as an offensive lineman and playing multiple positions for you guys up front?
Yeah, he's really talented. He's one of the few guys I've been around that can play inside and outside and not really miss a beat. He's so athletic, and he's got a really good football mind. You could draw it on a board and go out there and he'll pick it up, whereas some guys it's going to take more reps. And so that's fun to be around. It's fun to see football minds and see how they process stuff and see how they try to communicate to other guys. So he does a really good job.
Do y'all as coaches look at these opportunities playing around the country from a standpoint of, I mean, everyone knows Army. It's not quite the same as establishing a brand like some other colleges, but to be able to play in a place where some other kids might see y'all, up close earlier on in their recruitment or their process, and y'all stay more top of mind. Do y'all think about that at all from a recruiting standpoint?
Yeah, I think it helps. I think anytime you can play in, a state with a really good recruiting base, I do think that helps. Because kids get to see your team, and they know that they'll have a chance for their family to see them. And, obviously you want to go be competitive and execute and put a good product on the field, which that's our number one goal.